G'day legends, Atron here, doing through a quick Guild Wars today. When I recorded this, well, I was running low on time, so we've chucked Skelly in here today, and we're using pretty much the same team. So we ditched Tree and we put Skelly in just for some pace on this Guild War run, and a couple of do's and don'ts which I would like to pick up on through the haste of trying to get Guild Wars done in the last half an hour. So couple of targets, all above 270. I think 270 and the 360 was the out of range one there. So nothing too crazy or different. Same sort of horseshoe bases going on here, guys. So lots of annoying things, but very easily overcome with Ronin. Those icons and decorations mean almost nothing. Things you do want to take note of, just as a perfect practice sort of mentality when you go into a Ronin bomb. Make sure all your artifacts are up to date, because I'm pretty sure for the first 3 runs of this, Ronin didn't have Goblet of Life, so his heal every time he got damage, that was it. He didn't heal back up. Still got a lot of damage off in this one. And honestly, I wasn't too concerned because we did chuck Skelly in here today. Now, I had a question. A couple of people were asking, what can you do for certain heroes, or what can you replace for certain heroes in this Ronin bomb sort of technique? And one of them was Rokno. And the reason Rokno is there is, he's kind of the only person that does AoE, and he also is immune to energy. And why that's important is because he can still do damage and still get his proc off while Gunslinger Copters are chasing after him. So you can avoid this with heroes that have 5 Vite and damage. You can also avoid this by trying to drop a tank on a section that is closer to the Gunslinger, and that will mean the Copters will go there while he's still alive, giving whatever other hero you want to put in. Say it's Rokno, say it might be a Golem, right, on 5 Vite, and you want him to run in and just post-destroy some buildings. So it's what we call, post-building destruction in this, minnow bombing, Ronin bombing sort of techniques. You want to focus on, in Ronin bombing, you want to focus on 2 things, or 3 things. It's the pre-building damage, which is Ronin anyway. It's just like Ronin, and then he does the damage in the middle. And then you focus on the post-building damage. Now, with minnow bombing, it's a little different. You might have like pre-building damage, destroy the troops, maybe do a little bit of damage to some buildings, get some damage on the towers or the town hall, bloody yada, and then you drop your minnow, right? And there's the stages. Ronin bombing is a little different, and you really have got to evaluate how much damage is a Ronin doing. Is he getting enough damage at the start? Like, if I wasn't in a rush and I wasn't necessarily recording and wanted to save time for all you guys, I might go through that same run again and see how, if it was just the heroes in the middle, if they were just too much for Ronin. And Heartbreaker also here. Heartbreaker just shreds. So I should have, technically, you're watching here, you should have been able to see Heartbreaker take some, drop troops, and then she would have released her energy, and then she would have been a whole lot less deadly, that is for sure. So, but the whole idea, you've got to, depending on what heroes you have, and what Ronin does in his pre-building destruction. Now, if he only gets to 35% instead of, 60%, your post-building destruction technique is going to be different. And by different, I mean it'll either be easier, or it'll be more difficult, depending on what heroes you have in store. Now, I deem, if I had Athene, I would drop DD straight up, because I think she is the next best version of Heartbreaker, really. Heartbreaker is great for defending, defeating and blowing up buildings. Anubis is really there for that Doom Balloon in this Ronin bomb. Like, Anubis's only thing is really, I want him to die 4 times and clear the buildings. The longer he does stay alive, obviously the better, because then you can get natural Doom Balloon procs off, and that's going to be great for more building destruction and getting 3 flames. So the longer he can live, yes, it's better for the buildings and the Doom Balloon, instead of getting, he releases 1 and then he dies 3 times, so he's got releasing 4 Doom Balloons. he can potentially release, you know, maybe 2 at the start and then die 4 times. And so you've got, you know what I mean? Like he can get an extra, the more he's alive, those 6-second ticks, he can get an extra proc in there, instead of just relying on the Doom Balloon death procs, if that makes sense. So kind of a little bit of different, just rattling on about strategies here, because I don't have to focus on necessarily what I'm doing in the video, whereas I normally would live stream the recording. This is just kind of going over what's going on with the background. So things that hurt me were, I would drop my Ronin, I would drop my troops, I'd be dropping my troops, and then I'd switch back to, say, Heartbreaker, or I'd switch back to another hero. I think it happened a couple of times. I switch back to Heartbreaker, and I forget to then switch back to the troops, which allows, you know, you to just keep pressing them, you know, 1-2, 1-2 on the side of the map. So if you forget to do that, it can be really, really bad, because you drop Heartbreaker, and then you forget to go back to the troops, and you power drop, and you've dropped your entire team. Like you drop Skelly, you drop Anubis, you drop Rockno, all in the same place. Generally not as advantageous as spreading them around the map. Now, I didn't do it in this one, but I definitely did in the first 2 runs. So if you want to go back and just have a look at what I mean there, it was a bit lucky, really, going through some of that stuff. So I think next week I'm gonna try and sub out some heroes of Rockno maybe, and maybe Skelly, keep treeing there, but just do 1 hero and see how well each hero works. I'd like to try and maybe bring back Vlad just for those other heroes, or maybe even a Drax. Like a Drax could be useful here. I know, right? No one really uses Drax anywhere, but keeping in mind that AoE flying is great. Vlad and Drax both flying, both AoE. Really just concentrating on that building damage. Now, Drax doesn't actually have that bad a damage on his auto attacks. He does have 8 deadly strikes, so that can be very, very useful. And we might, no, I think mine's sitting pretty low level, but my Vlad is at least decent enough. Evo has a bulwark on him. Like, I could easily pump him up to 200 double evolved with the same sort of damage, and just throw a Vide on him, put a 5 Vide on him, and see how quickly, bit of lightning rock maybe, and see how quickly and how much damage he actually does to the buildings, offering a little bit extra, a little bit of different strategy to Rockno. While Rockno is energy immune, Vlad can fly over the wall and have a little bit of fun. Now, what happened just there, another thing to notice, do's and don'ts, count the Gunslinger proc when going in. So count that Gunslinger proc, make sure that Gunslinger has just procced, because she just automatically proc those bullets, because if you drop 1 hero, being Heartbreaker, at the back, and she basically died straight away, she's going to be useless to you, and that's not going to be great. So if they've got a Nick, count that proc. If they've got a Gunslinger, count that proc as well, and try and, you know, focus on the timing of the auto proc heroes on the base, and it will help you. It will help you a fair bit. So we will go over this a little bit more. I actually quite like talking about the strategies here, and a little bit of, you know, different strategies. You know, trying to do that free to play, best version of free to play. This one wasn't. I was in a rush. Skelly's in here, so don't comment, oh, you've got a Skelly, it's not free to play. Yeah, I get that. That's fine. But we will try and, you know, do a little bit more swapping in and out of heroes as we go through these Guild War things. I don't want to be too much of a replay or the repeat. So if you've got any ideas that you want to see, different heroes, stuff that you think might work, or teams that you want being built around this, let me know, and we will try and I'll try my best to try and, you know, adapt to that. But thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, enjoy. We'll see you in the next video.